What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. I am Mel, and joining me as always is Ronnie Big Smooth Hennigan. Smooth, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot, Mel. Another wacky weekend, bro.
I knew you was gonna say
I,
that.
I
I knew
can't,
you was gonna say
I
that.
can't come off of it, man. Every weekend is giving us content in the best form, bro. So I am
Yeah.
great. What about you, man?
I'm good. You know what? I'm reaching down here because I finally got my mini fridge in my office, man.
Hey,
So now I ain't got to run downstairs for water no more.
speaking of the A, I'm digging that shirt.
Oh yeah, I had to because as much as I despise them during interleague play, I
Yeah,
am thoroughly happy, and I'm gonna send a very special shout out to the entire Atlanta Braves organization for basically dog walking the Astros in the World Series.
man. Like, if there was ever a time to hush somebody, that happened,
Yeah.
man. Oh
But
my goodness.
speaking of hushing people, before we get any further into this, you already know we gotta do this. First is box band, strength through resistance. Resistance is key. If you're a fighter, you want to get in shape, you get your box bands. It's a great product. We still using it, and we appreciate the love and support that they give us.
Hmm.
Um, Kafifi for me, I'm still on the mocha that we bought like 3 months ago.
Oh man.
We still on that. Like we don't drink coffee like we used to, but we still on that. And the last one, you already know, Uncle Rico's quarter mile challenge. He can throw over them mountains. So if you want your quarterback to get right, that's where you go. All right. But yeah, speaking of, you know, wackiness and all of that, our guest for tonight is a very good friend of mine. He's a very good person in the video game world to know. I've had trouble beating this man in Tecmo Bowl except for one game. The final boss himself, Tom, or as I like to call him, Tecmo Tom. Tom, how you doing, man?
I'm breathing. I'm alive.
That's better than the alternative.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Six above, bro.
That's
Yeah.
right.
10,
That's
10,
true.
10 down. 10 down, not 10 up.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to backtrack a little bit because I remember meeting you, I believe it was 2015
So long ago.
at 16-bit. You were having a Tecmo Bowl tournament, Tecmo Super Bowl tournament, and it was as cold as it was actually pretty warm on the patio area
Yeah.
where they have the outdoor where you can sit outside and play video games or play the consoles instead of the arcade games.
Mm-hmm.
And I entered the tournament. And believe it or not, this is ironic. This is how ironic this was. The prize for winning the tournament was 2 tickets to the Browns Bengals game.
Man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Would have had good tickets for today. That would be awesome to see
Yeah,
that
man.
win.
And then I got to the second round, I got beat, and then whoever was next in line in the second round, they didn't show up, so I jumped in again, made it to the semifinals this time, and then I lost again. And then
Ooh.
from there, I just tried to get in. I got in contact with you and everybody from Tugboat to I think it's Ryan.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Ryan's an Eagles
Mm.
fan.
Yeah.
But
All
from
those
all of
guys.
those guys, there's just been a great group of guys. So tell us how you got
Um.
started with the Tecmo Bowl tournament.
I was getting someone right here. This is what's up right here.
Ooh.
Oh, I like the pen, even though it's Browns. I like it.
Oh, come on
That
now.
is, I said even though it's Browns, I like it.
Them pic-
Look at
I
that.
love the retro look.
yeah, man. Them pixels, man. That's what's
Hey,
up.
you know what? I still before you get started, I still actually have my Steelers shirt with the little Tecmo Bowl t-shirt,
Well,
Tecmo
I
Super
always
Bowl
forget you're
t-shirt.
a Steelers fan. You know what the heck's
Yeah,
wrong with you? What are you doing?
but I oh hater,
Did you have a
but I
Bengals
still have
jersey
the
on
shirt.
today? You better not have had a Bengals jersey on today.
God, no, don't cuss at me. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Thought we was better
That's
than
the
that, man.
bottom of the bottom of the bottom right there.
Right.
Well,
You never
I know
Man.
wear Bengals nothing.
Steelers fans troll no matter how hard they have to troll the Browns. Though.
Yeah, but I'm not going that far. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
that's next
That's too
level.
deep.
That's deeper than I'd like
That's
to
too
go.
deep. That is too deep. I agree.
Man.
That's crossing the lines for even for the normal fan.
Agreed.
Hmm.
But
Agreed.
tell us tell us how the tournament got started, because I love hearing the story and I love how it evolved.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we've been doing this for it's probably close to between 10 and 15 years now, something like that. I don't know. We used to have a bunch of guys over at my house. We used to play the one year we used to play Tecmo Super Bowl just at my apartment and at my house. And I'll never forget the one year we had a bunch of guys over, and by a bunch of guys, I think there were like 6 or 8 guys. This is when it was really small. One of the guys was in one of my kitchen chairs at our old house, nice wooden kitchen chair. He got so excited, he like leaned forward and slammed back and broke the chair like basically in half. And we're like, this isn't gonna work anymore. And then the next year, we think we had it in my basement or something. We must have had like 20-ish people or so at my house. And
Nice.
then what was it in 2017 or so? We got up to like 20 to 30 guys. And then that was the first year we had I think the next year, 16 or 17 was when we had it at the VFW, which is probably when you and I started talking and hanging out around that time, right?
Yep. Full
I don't know.
time, yeah. Because I would
Yeah,
catch up with
so
the tournaments.
so then that's when we had the first Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Cleveland at a Legion Hall. I think there were like 60 some guys at that time. I don't even remember, but that was a wild year. And then the next year we did Tecmo and NBA Jam, and then we were at Wagner's at their big event center. We had Kitzrow come out from NBA Jam, and
Yep.
last year we did the show virtually because of COVID, and we did it all for charity. And then now this year we're back again doing it live in person, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, and that was honestly one of the more fun. The 2017 one with the NBA Jam was one of the more fun ones, because that was like the biggest. That was the biggest tournament I had seen for both Tecmo Super Bowl and NBA Jam.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and when I tell y'all the competition is stiff, like the competition for that is stiff.
It's
Like
crazy hard.
I got put out in the first round in Tecmo Bowl, but ironically, I make it to the semifinals in NBA Jam and missed by 2 points.
Yeah, I
So
think was I in the finals of NBA Jam? I don't even remember.
yeah, you were.
I
I
think I
believe. I
was.
do believe you were in that.
I used to be really good. I used to be really, really good.
We
I mean,
all
I still
did.
am pretty good, but I never practice. If I practiced a little bit more, but I could do a little bit better. But yeah, yeah. But so this year we're back. Our show's this coming Saturday, November 13th in Westlake. So right now I think we've got like 35 guys signed up for Tecmo Bowl, so it should be pretty sweet.
Nice.
So we're getting pretty pumped. So
Now, is there going to be a NBA Jam tournament this year, or just
we are
Tecmo Bowl?
no, we're not doing a jam tournament this year. It doesn't seem to be enough interest in um, there didn't seem to be enough interest in doing like an NBA Jam tournament, quite honestly. It's always surprising. Like I think like people want to do it, but people just don't show up for it. So it's interesting. Like when I
Mm.
think NBA Jam, like I would love to have a tournament, but no one ever shows up for that type of thing, which is weird.
And they're missing out, because, in my opinion, NBA Jam is one of the best basketball games of all time. You put up
But
dream
everyone's all like
matches,
doing 2K and everything now. Like it's like
man.
everyone wants to do 2K tournaments, and I don't get it. Like I just feel like I don't know. I like NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I feel like it's a pretty level playing field. All this 2K
Hmm.
stuff, like I don't get it. But you do a 2K tournament, a bunch of people show up, but they take it so serious too, where it's just not even fun, in my opinion, either. Though.
It's not. It's not. That's why I love the Tecmo Super Bowl and the NBA Jam, because there's a level of excitement there that you just can't match with 2K, and it's a natural. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
natural excitement. Like, people get hyped to see the long pass and Jerry Rice comes down with it and it's in the end zone and the game's over.
That's right. That's what it's all about. So it's fun. It's just good, clean fun, and it's a bunch of guys getting out, having fun. Playing Tecmo Bowl. What else is there to, how can you
Yeah.
hate that? So yeah.
Now, this year's show is special to you. Why?
Um, man. Well, I think this year's so special because we didn't have a show in person last year, so that was kind of a bummer. We did the show last year for charity. We raised like $7,000 for charity, which was cool.
Awesome.
But this year's shows, I think, is going to be my prediction. My prediction has been, and my projections right now say it's going to be like our breakout show where so we're at about a 20,000 square foot venue right now, and there's not an inch of space left. We sold out of vendor tables. We sold out of our VIP experience. We sold out of indie developer passes. Tecmo Bowl is going to be packed. So I think this year is going to be, it's special because I think we're going to blow it out of the park this year. And we may even have to move to a bigger venue next year. So
nice. And that's what it's about. Spreading the love, man. Spreading the love.
Yeah, which is so weird because it's like I was saying, it's like, this was like 6 or 8 guys in my living room that we used to do it in the basement. My wife was like, yeah, you're not doing this at our house anymore. Yeah.
So so is that the basis of it? Like, so when you first started, was it something that, stemmed from just a few guys coming together and then it kind of just blew up, or you already kind of had a vision for it at the beginning?
I didn't have a vision. I think, it was just started off as a bunch of guys having fun. The thing I've always loved is like, it's people coming together, like having fun, just playing games. Like me and Ramel, like, it's like, we just hang out, we just talk, we text. Like all the Tecmo guys are texting me this week. I got people all over the U.S. texting me. One of the guys that plays Mike Tyson's Punch Out blindfolded, he's coming up, right? So it's just
nice.
It's fun, like everyone just kind of comes out because they love to play games, which is something I think that we genuinely do different with our show.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these shows you go to, it's like you just go and like buy things and you go home and you get in your car and you drive back home. Like that to me, like I've got a bunch of obviously collectibles and stuff, but I like to play games. Like I want to have fun, like I think it's cool when people get together and have a couple beers and play Tecmo Bowl or NBA Jam or whatever you play. It's just fun. Like we're going to have like 4-player GoldenEye, 4-player Mario Kart.
Nice.
We're gonna have a friggin' NES power pad set up with like track and field, just like stupid stuff like that, which is just fun. So I'm saying, like, you go to these things and no one like plays games anymore, right? And even too, like we're not doing like a Smash tournament this year. We did 2 years ago, like a Smash Ultimate tournament. But
yo, that was so wild. Like, not even to cut you off. That was wild.
Yeah. I'd like to do that again in the future, but I don't know enough about that scene either. We need somebody that knows more about that and wants to do that. I think that'd be cool to have, but that's a very competitive scene and there's a lot of nuances to it, which I just don't know about. But that's the biggest thing is like you get people that start to learn these things and they just genuinely want to help out, which is cool. So
I know for me, man, because even hearing you talking about it and how everything's been coming together, it takes me back because, like you said, it's just something that you either have a passion for or love to do, or something you kind of just do leisurely if you do it. And if you really are serious about it, or let's say you consider yourself a gamer, you're going to try different things, whether it's great, whether it's not so great, you're like, okay, I'll try it at least once. And then if I'm hooked, I'm hooked. And if I'm not, I just move on to the next thing, And hearing you get together with guys and kind of doing that, in the early stages and then putting these events together, it reminded me of a time when I used to work nights, and once a week I would get together with a few guys and kind of do that before I went to work. It kind of helped me get going, get my brain, flowing and all of that, man, and get me ready for that. And it was the same situation, may have a few snacks, some drinks, whatever, and then kind of get going. And it's like the most relaxing feeling for someone that is a gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of people who don't do it just don't understand what that does or what that can do for you.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, man, it's a mental escape. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll say, oh, you too grown, this and that. It's not about like toys and all this other kind of stuff. It's a different perspective that you have no idea of knowing or where that even comes from because you just don't have the experience. You know what I'm saying?
You are never too grown to play to score a touchdown on 4th and 10 in Tecmo Super Bowl.
But
it's
just cool because you build a lot of friendships too. This is how that happens, right? Like a lot of these guys, I'm in like fantasy football leagues with these guys. You get together, you get beers with these guys. Like You know, people saying like, I'm going and getting married, I'm having a kid, right? Like, that's cool. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And then you know what's really cool about stuff like this is that naturally, like people start to, you know, you develop like these tribes, right? Like where people are like, hey, I want to run the Tecmo thing. I'm like, awesome. You know, I got you. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need set up. Tell me how many TVs you need. Tell me what budget you need.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Run. Do it. You know, because then people start to become passionate about it themselves and then they just want to run with it. And then that's when it's like this thing starts snowballing because like I can't do it
Mm-hmm.
all. You know, it's like I'm one guy. But once you get other people that are like, hey, you know, this is cool.
Hmm.
I want to be part of this. Like embrace that. I think that's what it's all about.
True, man.
Yeah.
You figure it could spin off to where, like, let's say you got a couple guys coming in for it from a different location. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And they take it back to where they're at. They have some kind of like thing that they do, like at a different time frame. It's like in between when the next one
Hmm.
is, or however they want to do it. And like you said, it could get bigger or, be on a different level. And just to hear that y'all, connected like at 16 Bigs, we have one down here in Columbus as well. And it's just real cool. It's my first time ever going there. At first I was like, okay, I see where I can get like a beer or something like that, but I don't see any food, like what do I do and all that. And by the
Yeah.
time I got going, man, it didn't even
I've been to
matter.
that Columbus one. There's that hot dog spot right next door.
Yeah, Dirty Franks. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
For
right,
sure,
exactly.
man.
Yeah, I
For
was just
sure.
down in Columbus a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw. I saw that because you were. It was a convention down there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that's again like another good example. Like I went to this video game convention called Torg and just had an awesome time. And then I met the guy who runs the show, Mike Coletti, super nice guy, super chill. And like him and I are now like Facebook friends and we're messaging each other. And then he's coming up to Cleveland and I came down there. Like again, like it's all gaming related. And you
Hmm.
know, now he's like super pumped to come up here and hang out and see the show that we're doing. And we're talking about how we kind of like collaborate together and like have each other's shows help each other out, right? Like it's all
Yeah.
community based stuff, which is cool. So
And speaking of community based, glad you brought that up because
mm-hmm.
word on the street is you got a couple guests
Uh-oh.
coming for the VIP experience. So fill us in on that.
Yeah, who's coming? I don't know. It's probably like Bernie Kosar and Josh Cribbs or something. No, it's
Nice.
what's his name? I was trying to get who was the one Browns guy back in the day? Actually, I've been trying to get Josh Cribbs to come. That's a whole separate story though, because I think
I
he'd be
actually
cool to
ran
be
into him
there.
a couple months back. I ran into him at a Cleveland Crunch game, believe it or not.
Oh no way. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but so we've got you guys. I think you guys have interviewed him, Master Pacina, Daniel Pacina, right? You guys have talked to him,
Hmm.
so
Oh
he's
yeah.
going to
Hmm.
be there. Johnny Cage. And then Carrie Hoskins, Sonya Blade will be there too. She was Sonya
Hmm.
Blade in
Oh,
Mortal Kombat
three.
3, 4, Ultimate. She was also a cheerleader at NBA Jam. She
Really?
was also
Wow.
in War Gods, and I think she was also a playmate. I think so.
Oh
There's
wow,
that
never
too.
knew that.
Well,
You just learned something,
see.
and they say you can't learn anything through video games.
Right. I learned a whole
That's
lot today. Today years
right.
old. You know.
So they'll be at the show, which is super cool. And so that'll be on Saturday. They're coming in. We had like we were selling like a VIP experience with them where it's like, you know, you get autographs, photographs, and we're getting this like 8x10 banner that's gonna have like one of the Mortal Kombat stages made. So it's gonna be like a nice big backdrop banner. So you could be able to get photos with them.
Nice.
And then we had like a nice dinner we're doing, you know, so people could do dinner with them, then play video games with them. But that thing sold out, which was super cool. So you've got like just 12 tickets for that. But otherwise, people can just kind of show up and meet them for autographs and photographs and stuff. So
Nice.
That's really
it'd be
cool,
cool.
man.
It'd be cool. They're legends. Like that's kind of cool, right?
That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
You know.
You got to get
Like
nut punched by Johnny Cage. I mean,
exactly. You would never think that you'd be able to have that opportunity.
and you know he's bringing his like nunchucks or something. You know he's
Oh
always posting
Jesus.
stuff on Instagram. He's gonna be like,
Oh
we'll be
yeah.
like, damn, watch
Have
out.
have had some, the sunglasses ready and
Oh man,
everything else, man.
I've seen the sunglasses, I've seen the masks, like
He's
I've
got this
seen the
like he's
rope.
got this ring this thing that says like cage on it. It's like brass knuckle type thing.
I didn't
I bet
see
he has
that, but
that.
I haven't seen the brass knuckles, but I have seen the rope dart that he has.
Oh yeah, the rope dart. Yeah, he's gonna probably bring all that stuff. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah, he's serious, man. It's
But
awesome to
that
It
see
is
though.
wild.
but I was just saying, like, think about that, dude. That is awesome. Like the OG Scorpion, the OG Johnny Cage will
Yeah,
be
he's gonna
here.
be there. Like you can high five him. Like that's cool. Yeah. So if you got like Mortal Kombat stuff, like I ordered a couple things just for them to sign. So I'm like, I just want some things for them to sign. Be cool, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Now,
but
I, this year, I noticed you didn't have any mini tournaments. Are you gonna go back to that, or is that gone forever?
no, I want to do more tournaments. The problem is it requires. The funny thing is everyone wants tournaments, but no one wants to run them. you know.
Ah,
So
yeah, that
like
makes
like I was
sense.
saying, I'm only one person, right? So like Kevin Molnar, who's a good friend of mine, Ramel, you know him.
Yeah.
He
Shout
he
out
he
to
runs
Kev.
he runs the Tecmo Bowl tournament, and the guy's a rock star. He's a stud. He does all that. He promotes it. He'll run it the entire day of. Like he barely even plays, and he's legit player now. Like he's
Hmm.
top tier
Oh,
Tecmo
I
guy.
know. You don't have to remind
But
me. I know.
I mean, he's amazing, and he was an up and comer for a while, but he's up there. He's probably top five guys. I mean, he's fantastic. But again, he's running the tournament because again, like I used to run the tournament, but now I'm running 20,000 square feet of video game con, so I can't be in a room just doing like people still message me like, why aren't you doing Tecmo Bowl? I'm like, because I'm running like an entire video game show. Like I
Hmm.
can't. Like that's the thing. A couple guys even reached out, like, "Oh, we do an NBA Jam this year." I said, I got 15 Sega Genesis right down the hallway here that I'm glad to bring, and I've got like 30 NBA Jam cards. If someone wants to run it, boom, it's there. You just let me
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But it's the thing. It's like a lot of people say they want to do things and then they don't do things. So it's like I can't
Hmm.
do it all. Like I talked about even getting a couple NBA Jam arcade cabinets in there and running it on those. I'm like, I'm glad to get like 2 or 3 NBA Jam arcade cabinets, and people are like, no, I don't have time to run. I'm like, okay, well, like I'll do it, but I can't run it all, So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if
so
y'all
Yeah.
listening,
it's.
you trying to do something, man, hit them up. Just
I
saying,
know.
hit them
Yeah.
In all
up.
honesty, I think it's cool. Like I love it. Like I want to run content, but you need people because that's the whole concept of tribes. Like you want people like the Tecmo tribe, the NBA Jam tribe. But if there's a 2K tribe or a Smash tribe or whatever it is, like do it. And people all the time message me like, "Oh man, like I want to do this." I'm like, 100%. You let me know what you need, I will get it there. So if people are passionate about things, I love it. So
Gotta love it, man. Like, because I've met great people. You, Tugboat, Kevin, Ryan, because those are the main guys I see just about every tournament. That's what made it cool for me because I finally got a group of people I can relate to as far as this game goes. Like
mhm.
with coaching my players, they swear up and down Madden is the greatest game ever, and I'm just like, y'all don't even know. You guys
Like
don't
they
even
did
know.
a, and like that's the thing. Like they did a I did a Madden tournament at our show 2 years ago, and there were like 12 guys that showed up. We had like all these consoles, and I think we had like
Hmm.
whether it was PS4s or Xboxes, whatever they are. Um, we had it all set up, and there were like 12 guys that showed up.
Oh man, yeah, that's
But
nothing.
Yeah,
all these people are like, and so I'm saying like all these people are like, oh man, you could have a Madden tournament, you could have a Madden tournament, and don't get me wrong, like it's cool, whatever. But like if you're gonna like say like you're gonna have a Madden tournament, there should be like 100 dudes there, in my opinion.
hmm,
I mean
Hmm.
but it's really hard, for people to commit to these things.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so complicated too. Like some people don't want to come out to those things because they're like, man, I don't want to get my teeth kicked in. But it's like if you grew up playing Tecmo Super Bowl or you grew up playing NBA Jam, you can compete no matter what. Like you can
Hmm.
compete, you can have fun. So.
Yeah. And then the day, man. And speaking about that, if you grew up doing it, you took your licks too, because you
Yeah,
didn't
It's
just
true.
pick up the sticks one day and you was just great. Like it took time.
yeah. It took
You know what I'm
practice.
saying?
Took a lot of
It's a
practice. A
craft.
lot of beatings.
Yeah, a lot of beatings.
Agreed.
Like you, oh me and me and Uncle so and so or whatever, and then you get blown out by 30 points and you a little hurt. I'm gonna get him one day. And then you just
My
work toward
brother used
that.
to kick my ass at Tecmo. Like that's how I
Oh
grew up
Man,
playing
yeah.
my brother. My brother
hey,
would. My brother's
what
5 years older than me.
what's
He would just whoop me at every time.
and what's funny is nobody. I can't even say nobody comes in with a strategy because everybody has a bit of a strategy coming into
Hmm.
Tecmo Bowl or Tecmo Super Bowl because you have to. But as I said, I was telling my players, I'm like, you have no strategy for an all-out blitz that you cannot stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, let somebody pick the
Exactly.
same play as you in Tecmo Bowl and let's see what you do then.
It's true. So
Like
no, it'd
they
be
they
cool. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for this week. It's gonna.
I,
I'm just working tomorrow, and then I got the whole rest of the week. Just I counted.
to
I've got like
relax. I
22
wish.
TVs to move. Got so much stuff to do all week. So
But you know what? It's all worth it. Looking
Hmm.
at from where I've been in the situation or in the world of Tecmo Super Bowl to see how it's grown each year, man, I have nothing but respect for you. You put your time, your money, a lot of energy. I'm pretty sure you got yelled at a couple times, you know,
get yelled at all the time.
but it's like seeing people light up and seeing how excited people get for a Tecmo Bowl tournament, a game that's literally 35 some odd or 30 some odd years old.
Hmm.
And here's the crazy part. Do you have any of the ROM hacks that they come out with?
I do. I mean, I've played some. Like some, but I mean, I don't. We generally don't have them at the show.
Yeah, I figured
But some
that.
people bring their own carts. Yeah, yeah.
But they started ROM hacking Tecmo Bowl. Like I thought it was just gonna stop at Mario, but seeing it for Tecmo Bowl is just great. Like
This
that's
year,
that
this year, it's funny you bring that up. This year we have a. We're gonna have a. I think it's on PlayStation 1. We have a. It's an NBA Jam hack. It's NBA Jam 21. So it has the
really
21 NBA. Yeah, it has the 21 roster, and the sprites like look like
Nice.
legit. I mean, they
I
like
gotta
look.
see
It's
this.
NBA Jam with a 21 NBA 21 roster, and they're like
That's
other
pretty cool.
unlockable characters and stuff, right? So, but the sprites
Oh
look
man.
like legit. So, like you can play as like LeBron in NBA Jam and stuff like that on PlayStation.
See
It's pretty cool.
that
So, I think we're gonna have that
that is
set up on
cool.
4 player. Yeah.
I
Man,
gotta see this. I gotta see this. That's
that's got to
awesome.
be better than the because they had a mobile version. I want to say 3 years ago or something like that that you
Yeah.
could pay for, and it has some of the newer players on there too. But hearing about
Yeah, but they
that on
like
the actual
reskinned and
console,
redid the whole. They like reskinned and redid the whole game. Like I think this is like
man,
based on like the NBA Jam. Like we know, like it looks like that original
oh yeah,
version.
Oh,
So that'd be
that's
kind of
awesome.
cool.
That is awesome. So you being the creator of this tournament in Cleveland, mind you guys, for those watching, this is Cleveland's largest video game tournament that I could think of. 'Cause I've been looking, and this is the most consecutive tournament that I've seen. And this is Cleveland's largest. It's a retro tournament. So I have to ask you, because I never got a chance to ask you this any other time, but what's been the best part for you running this tournament?
Well, it's so it's more than tournament, right? I mean, because we got tournaments just are even like 20% of it. Like it's a whole
hmm
convention now. I mean, it's literally a convention, everything going on. So the best part of doing it is just, I think, meeting new people. It's just that's it. It's making new friends. I mean, meeting new people, bringing people together. Like we got like indie video game developers this year. We got toy guys coming out to the show. We've got cosplay coming out. So I mean, it's just like hanging out, having a good time. Like I always say to people, are like, "Man, what's the best part?" I'm like, "It's just a friggin' party, and everybody's having fun, right? I mean, that's what it should be." So it's great, just making friends
Yeah,
exactly, man.
and hooking up with like old friends. I mean, honestly, like a lot of these Tecmo guys, like like they're coming from like Wisconsin, Chicago, Detroit,
that's the
Florida. I
crazy
mean,
part. I Didn't what year was that? I think that was the NBA Jam tournament where the guy who won the Madden tournament showed up.
I don't remember.
Was that
I don't
I
remember.
believe that was Tecmo Jam. My years might be
Mm.
off, but I believe that was the Tecmo Jam year. And you know, I should have wore that shirt today. That's what I should have did.
I have so many shirts. But I mean
That's one of my
that's the best
favorite
part. It's just
shirts.
like seeing people to get together. Like when people come in the door at
Mhm.
registration, they're like, "Hey, Ronnie, haven't seen you in 2 years," and it's gonna be cool this year because, like, honestly, because like COVID has sucked, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it sucks. So like a lot of these friendships that we've all built. I mean, it's cool doing like stuff like this all remote, but it's gonna feel good to like go up to somebody and hug them, be like, "Hey, man, like, how's your family? How are your kids? Good to see you. How's Detroit? How's work?" You know, people then
Mhm.
see them sitting down and picking up a controller together. Like that's just gonna be cool. I miss that.
yeah. I
And
miss
it's
it too,
moments
man.
like and it's moments like that where you just pick up where you left off. You know what I'm
Right. It's
saying?
true.
Because you
It's totally true.
figure because we know time has passed, but at the same time, man, it's like when you have these kind of events or something that people are so invested in, it's like time stops for that.
Hmm.
And then you
Hmm.
have different things that happen in your life, and then you come together, annually or whatever. And it's like you just saw them yesterday, even though that time is in between.
Yeah,
And
it's totally
even if
cool.
it's just for one day, you get to have a lot of fun with a lot of
Oh,
good
that day
people.
is so much fun. That day, I can't
Mm-hmm.
wait for Saturday. The day is so fun. Like seeing everybody come out and have fun. I mean, it's really cool. It's
That should
cool.
be an all weekend event, if you ask me. That's just my personal opinion. I
Uh,
know it's not gonna happen. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we did it 2 days 2 years ago. The thing is with these shows, like the second day is always a bust. You know, it's like it's like all the buzz and hype is on day one, and then day two, everyone's basically hung over. You know, and I don't mean like just alcohol and hungover. I mean they're just tired. I mean everyone's just like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh, I gotta get out of bed and do it all over again. It's just a lot. And to be honest, dude, it's just too much for me. Like I'm too old to be doing it. I mean, it's a lot of work setting up, tearing down, moving things. That's why I kind of made the decision. Like, let's just make it one day this year. We also move the hours back so it doors open at 12 instead of
mm.
like at 9, because 9 o'clock's like too early anyways. I mean, no one wants to be like
Not on a
going all
Saturday. Ain't
day.
nobody up.
Not on a set. Yeah,
Man,
exactly. So it's like, let's start at 12 o'clock and let's go to 10 o'clock. So that way people can come at 12, have fun, meet their friends, travel in from, if they're driving from Detroit, driving from Chicago, flying in from
hmm
somewhere, get there at 12 or 1 o'clock, and then it goes till 10. And then after 10 o'clock, you want to go party somewhere and keep it going, do it. So,
Yeah. And you
that's
know
cool.
what? Like that was the great thing about the first two tournaments that I went to because, you know, yeah, you may take a beating in the tournament or whatever, but there was so much respect there. Like if you were playing Madden, you wouldn't get that kind of respect. You
Mm-mm.
suck, you trash. You get beaten Tecmo Bowl, you earned it. You earned that man's
you still have
respect, and that
fun.
was yeah. And it's fun playing. Like
Yeah.
I remember a first trip I took to Detroit for a Tecmo tournament out there. I think I had, I don't know, 6 games, and I think I only won one game. And I remember, I'll never forget, I forget whose kid it was, but it was somebody's kid, like 14, 16-year-old kid, just whooped me, like spanked me.
Man.
And I'm like walking up, I'm like, man, this kid doesn't know what's about to happen here, what's about to go down. Then I'm just like, what the hell just happened? And I remember I'm like, but then still at the end of the day, like you go to the bar, hang out with people, you're there, let's have fun. It's just fine. Who
yeah,
cares? It's a game.
yeah,
Mhm.
man, and
You
that's
know.
the beauty of it, and that's why I commend you because not a lot of people are doing something like this in a positive manner and getting such a
Hmm.
positive reaction out of it, and that's the
Mhm.
best part of this tournament. Like I've never had anything to complain about. I met the voice of NBA Jam. I got that man's autograph. Like, how do
Yeah,
you
that's cool, right?
for celebrity purposes? That's one of your all timers if you're somebody our age. Like, how do you top that? And
Yeah, it's
then,
just cool. I want to have him back. I might have him back next year. I was thinking
man, that'd be awesome.
That'd be dope.
That
because that way we could maybe do an NBA Jam tournament, next year. I really would like to bring the NBA Jam thing back. and find someone that wants to run it. And if I brought him out, I feel like I'd have to do it, and get like 4 NBA Jam arcade cabinets set up or something. So,
oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And then to have him do the championship.
Yeah,
Just call
cool,
the championship.
Right? Like
That'd be great.
Dude, when I think about things like how I want to do things, I'm like, oh man, it'd be cool. Like, like when the NFL players come out, they come through the tunnel, there's like fireworks and smoke and everything come out. I'm like, I want to have that for like finals for like NBA Jam and Tecmo Bowl. Like, how cool would that? Like,
that would be dope.
Here comes Ramel, he's walking out. Here comes Ronnie, he's walking out, and like, he's got the championship belts over, like WWE, AEW stuff. He's got the belt from last year. He's coming out.
Oh, that'd be, man. Don't tempt me.
That'd be sick.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't it be like that? I mean, I say it jokingly, but it totally could be like that.
I believe it's gonna be that way soon. Like the way that this is grown, like you can't help but to see it get bigger. Like, and I push for things like that because you have so much fun with it. And you actually put the time in to make it fun.
It is so much work, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I really do have a good time doing it.
All right. Before we let you go, I just want you to know.
Put the kids to bed.
Yeah, I know. Just before I let you go, I just want you to know. I do plan on getting a game with you, whether it's in the tournament or whether it's just off the record.
It won't be on. Don't ask me to play a game on Saturday. I'm gonna be.
No.
I'll be. I wish I will. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna play something.
I'm gonna do this like Rocky and Apollo did, and I'm gonna make sure nobody sees this. This between me and you. Ding ding. Like I can't remember. I think it was in North Royalton, the arcade style place. No, it was North Ridgeville. That was my first. Yeah, that was my first win ever. That was the only win I've gotten so far, and I think I've taken like 4 or 5 beatings. All because he plays with the Bears.
Neil Anderson. I have my Neil Anderson jersey upstairs. I should have worn it.
Oh, gee, man, I probably would have cussed you out after the show was over.
It's true.
But you know what? As much as I love Tom, I hate when he plays with the Bears because nobody should be that fast. Like their entire defense is retardedly fast.
Yeah, they're good.
Even with Barry, like whether it's Singletary or even Mongo got speed. How does Mongo got speed? Steve Mongo McMichael on that game has speed. Like how?
Oh
yeah,
my Bears though.
Wow.
Screw the Bears. Screw the Bears. In Tecmo Super Bowl, screw the Bears. I hate them.
Right here. Where they at?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll find it. Well,
I see.
The camera's all backwards.
I see.
Right there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. That was when 5 teams were in a division. That's how old That's how old we are, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Man, but it's great fun, and
yeah. Look, I got no hair. That's how old I am.
NFC Central.
Yeah,
that's right.
Not North, the Central
Division. You're like
the
what?
AFC Central. You got to take one trip to Houston.
Right, the Oilers. Oh man, that was the.
Yeah. So, last thing, are the rules still the same for the tournament?
I don't even know the rules. You ask Kevin. Kevin knows the rules. Yeah, they're about the same though. He knows the rules.
Yeah, he probably made the book
part, though. Like I say it joking, but that's the greatest part because he just runs it. Like he's the man. Like he's the rule. Like they're all up on the website under the on the Tecmo Super Bowl page. So we post them all up on the website.
Cool.
But, yeah.
And for those that are watching and you want to get in on this tournament or just want to go to enjoy yourself, you can sign up at clevelandclassicgaming.com. If you want, you use our promo. Wait,
nope.
I got it wrong? Wait.
Yeah, you got it wrong big time.
I thought I got it right.
No, what are you doing? No.
Man, look, I work just like you do, man. Don't judge me.
Game Cleveland. Just Game Cleveland. We keep it
Okay,
simple.
GameCleveland.com, and you can use
GameCleveland.com.
our promo code 4 and 15. Save yourself a couple bucks. Go have a good time, man. Go get a beer.
Yeah, come out.
Go watch some Tecmo Bowl. Hell, go play Tecmo Bowl. I advise you. Go take one. Pick up the stick and just play.
Tons of stuff. Bring the kids too. Have fun. There's gonna be tons of stuff there to do for It's family friendly. Lots of stuff going on.
If you don't do nothing else, go play GoldenEye one good time on the 4-player 64. Go play GoldenEye.
Man.
That was Halo before Halo.
We have like a 10-player. We got like a 10-player Bomberman set up. We got
really. I'm in.
GoldenEye.
Bomberman. I'm in.
Yeah, we got that on the Saturn. I think it's like a 10-player Bomberman. So
that's my Bomberman too. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, we got we're bringing in a whole I'm bringing a whole truckload of arcade cabinets in. So I think we'll have 10 or so arcade machines there, and then there's place can be crazy. So it'll be fun. It'll be really fun.
Man, I can't wait. We will be there. I'm gonna try and cover this and not lose my mind. But
yeah,
we are appreciative for you being on. Thank you for helping us spread the word to this. Again, GameCleveland.com. Promo code is 4 and 15. Thank you. The promo code is 4 and 15. We will post this again on our fan page here on Facebook. So be on the lookout. Go have a great time. Tom, we appreciate you. Thank you very much
for joining, man.
You got it.
And we will see you Saturday.
Thanks for
you too.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you.
All right. And that was Tom of the Cleveland Gaming Classic Convention. And man, we're gonna have some fun this weekend. Gonna have fun.
Man, I know for me, like just hearing how passionate he is about it, that was it for me. Because you figure if you can start something that small to where it's just a couple of guys hanging out, man, having a couple of drinks, whatever, and just kicking back, and then it blows into something like that.
Now it's turned into a convention, man. Not a tournament, a convention.
That's where it's at, man.
Yeah,
that's where it's at.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. Moving on from that, we do got some things we got to talk about. As we said earlier, the Braves, because we didn't do a show last week, but the Braves won the World Series. They had their parade and everything. Enough said. I was happy. It was all we needed. But moving on, it's crazy world of college football yet again.
Man. Ooh.
And yet again, there were some things that happened and some people lost. And it's a crazy situation now in the top 10. First off, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man, the killer strikes again. Let me just put that out there. We know who they are. We'll get to that. So, but yeah, for me, like just seeing these matchups in general and how they turned out, and a few that did lose, I was like, oh, okay, didn't see that coming. But we know that top 10 killer struck again.
Yeah, in Purdue. Purdue.
Man, they different, man. They different. I mean, they come ready to just screw everything up, man. They do it every season. But to do it twice, that's what made this so exciting this year. Because they always get one, I feel like, either Iowa or Penn State, But this year, to knock off Iowa and to knock off Michigan State, I'm like, man, y'all just don't care at all. And that's awesome. Don't care and keep playing like that. Man.
Yeah, and speaking of the top 10 killer, Wake Forest drops one to UNC. I want to hear your thoughts on this one.
Oh my God. So this is the funniest thing, man, because my aunt called me after the Georgia game and we were talking for a little bit, and it was so funny because, she was saying like how if they do happen to go all the way this year, that she wanted to, link up, which was cool. But at the same time, man, she was like, "What's going on with the ACC?" I was like, "Shoot, what's going on with the ACC is that their best team is a basketball school by the name of Wake Forest right now. It was the only one they had left that was undefeated, and they were just kind of like rolling through the conference, right? So to see this happen, Saturday, I was like, wow, y'all really dropped this game. Like from here on out, I have no idea what they're going to do because the first, 8 games or whatever, I kept saying, okay, there were maybe one or two surprises here and there, but they kind of had some momentum going. You know what I mean? But now after seeing them, drop to UNC like that, I'm kind of like, okay, it's a little unpredictable. They'll probably still end up in the, ACC title game or whatever. But at the same time, like, just because it's them and because of what their schedule's like, they're not going to end up doing anything even if they win it. But I feel like overall, man, like, it's one of those random seasons. I cannot tell you the next time we will see them be like this in football, you know. But when it came to that game, I'm like, it was honestly unexpected. I actually gave them the go ahead. I'm like, you know what? They'll probably get through this. They'll probably be 9-0, have some kind of small argument, not a
Small.
big one, small, But I played to be 9-0, whatever. I kind of shrugged it off. I'll be honest. So for me, that game was actually a shock, believe it or not, when they lost it. I was actually surprised.
I was surprised at the Purdue game, the Purdue Michigan State game, because
Oh man, yeah.
you expect, because we already said it was murderer's row in the Big Ten East. Everybody had to see each other at least within the next month.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohio State got through Penn State. Michigan's handling business still, even though they lost. And only team left in the East is Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with this, I believe, don't quote me on this because I haven't looked at the standings yet, but I do believe in the West, Purdue is hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have a matchup because Ohio State took care of Nebraska. They have a matchup with Ohio State in Columbus, I believe. How big is this game going to be for the Buckeyes when you know that normally your the thorn in your ass is a Michigan team, but now Purdue is lurking after beating a Michigan State team that was, I'm not going to say they were fool's gold, but
Mm-hmm.
they were very overhyped going into this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just to see how they were playing, I mean, they were really heavy on the cover too, um, which I was honestly shocked by going up against them. I didn't think that's what the approach would have been, especially seeing how they've been playing all season. And then also with this game, it's bigger than it's going to look like on paper. It's bigger than what the media is going to give it to as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those ones where OSU can't look past it. You know what I'm saying? Like Purdue has proven that they can catch you slipping, and they've done that
Yeah,
to OSU in recent years too. So,
yeah.
nobody is
Nobody's
safe
safe.
in the
Nobody's safe.
Boilermakers, okay? Because it was so funny because before that game started, I remember watching, of course, all the different analysts talking about it, and here come Tebow out of nowhere, put Michigan State on upset alert, and I was like, really? On upset alert? Like,
Well, obviously he knew what he was talking about.
he knew he was coming off for this one. I'm like, oh, okay. Now it's so funny because, ironically, right, this was the same anniversary of when we had that prediction about Minnesota and Penn State, a couple years ago. And the funny part about that is people was looking at us sideways, like y'all tripping. That ain't gonna happen. I had that same feeling for this game.
Oh,
Like,
wait,
ain't no way they dropping.
wait. A whole 2 years later. Where we at now? We on
Right.
YouTube now.
Exactly, man. So, it's just cool to see it all come full circle, man. But for real, I was fooled for real. I was like, yeah, ain't no way they losing that. And they showing up did drop the ball. You know what I'm saying? Here's another one for you though.
Yeah,
Not only did they drop it, the
they
QB
dropped.
passed for 536 yards in the
And you
air.
still lost, but you still lost. Like,
It's crazy, man. It's just crazy to
but
see. And
but
then,
but to be fair, let's give Purdue credit because they are,
mhm.
I believe, 2 or 3 games above 500,
Oh yeah, they
and
6-3.
it looks like if they keep pace, they may win the West Division.
Hmm. Yeah, because
So
they're
let
4-2 in the Big Ten right now.
yeah, so let's be fair to Purdue on that note because it's not like this was a cupcake and
Oh
they
yeah,
just caught somebody slipping. Purdue's actually in contention to win the West Division and earn a spot in the Big Ten title game.
and that's the biggest difference between this time versus previous years. Because
Hmm.
beforehand it was like you weren't even checking for Purdue; they were under 500 at this point of the season. Maybe they have 3 wins, 4 to be generous. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they weren't upsetting 2 top 10 teams, right? So you figure they just did 2 top 10 upsets in a month. Cannot tell you the last time that happened for Purdue. Can't even tell you, right? So,
I would think the Drew Brees era, maybe.
man,
But even then
we
that's a
know how
stretch
long,
because that was so long ago.
right,
There
man?
were no divisions in the Big Ten. It was just you better win.
You better win. You better be in top 2 spots. You know what I'm saying? So,
Now, with this, because we already said the ACC is completely out of it now that they've lost their last undefeated team, which
yep.
kind of sucks, but this is what happens when the Clemson train has been derailed.
Hmm.
So, looking at the current top four, we don't know what the top four is going to look like for the playoff committee, but looking at the AP and the coaches poll, it's still the same teams, just the alignment's different. For
Hmm.
the AP, well, for the coaches, I'll start with the coaches poll. It's Georgia, Bama, Cincy, Oklahoma, and that's 1 through 4 chronologically. And for the AP, it's Georgia, Cincy, Bama, Oklahoma. So
Mm.
2 and 3 are the only 2 teams that swap. So my question to you is, out of these top four right now, who slips up first?
Oklahoma.
You think so?
The way they've been playing, man. See, here's the thing. Like, they all of a sudden are catching fire. Like, all season long, it was kind of suspect. They playing from behind, having to figure it out. And then Texas should have beat them. But
Yeah,
Texas was
man.
being Texas, man. They cannot keep a lead. Like, oh my God, man. They come out
Not,
so hot, like every
not gonna go
game.
there.
Like,
Not
oh
gonna go
my,
there. I'm
it's
gonna just leave it
painful.
alone.
It's so
That's their fault.
painful.
That's
It
their fault.
is. It is. It is. But it's just like, dang, man. So, but the thing is, based off what we had talked about, a couple of weeks ago, um, that whole clash with like them and Oklahoma State, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, and then to see that, probably happen again in the Big 12 championship, um, that's kind of where I'm like, that's what may knock them out. Because the thing is, they're there now, right?
Yeah,
But whoever wins the Big Ten, you know what I'm saying, is gonna get
they
in
got to
there.
get in.
So that's gonna happen, right? And then on top of that, this Big 12 team, whoever the representative is, it has to be either Oklahoma or Oklahoma State if they get in. Because right now I feel like
True.
if Oklahoma wins out and then they end up winning the Big 12, okay, they'll probably make that argument and give them like that fourth spot or whatever, or a third spot, depending on how they choose to do Cincy. I'm still not feeling how they're doing Cincy at all. You
You
know what I'm
know what?
saying?
To
It's just crazy,
to
man.
be fair, I see. I've been paying attention to this. I know it's not right. It's far from right. But I think the committee's trust factor has not kicked in for Cincy yet.
Yep. They don't
Now,
trust him at all.
yeah, they don't trust him. But the thing that's keeping Cincy in this race
Mm-hmm.
is Notre Dame. Notre Dame has not slipped up,
Yep.
knock on wood, because my desk is wood, so I'm knocking on wood. Notre Dame has not slipped up since Cincinnati came into their house and beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm gonna say is, yes, you need style points, and the last 2 weeks, since he has not showed any style points, and that's not their fault. And people are gonna probably be like, "How is it not their fault?" The American Conference is not it's not a walk through the park. This ain't a day at the beach. You got
Mm-hmm.
Navy, you got Houston, you got Tulsa, uh, Tulane.
Tulane. Yeah.
Um, just think about that. Like Houston, I believe, is still in the top 25. Actually,
Mm-hmm. It's 17 on both
yeah.
polls.
So that you got a number 17 team that you still got to see. And if you
Yep. Haven't
win,
played them
you
yet.
probably go and if you win, you're probably gonna see them again in the championship the next week.
Mm-hmm. Big
So
facts.
not to mention you got SMU coming up. SMU's been on the rise. Like they've averaged a 10-win season the last 4 years. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they have.
So, and just because these teams aren't ranked doesn't mean they're not helping push Cincinnati because you got to keep up with that.
Now,
And like I said, Notre Dame is still winning. So as long as Notre Dame is still winning, I think that helps them. I think that helps their case.
so here's my thing with that, because um, I know a lot of people is, having their feelings about like with Ohio State, you know what I'm saying? So with that type of approach, do you feel like that's what's helping Oregon right now? Is that what you?
Yeah, I do. I do, unfortunately, because I hate Oregon, but a loss is a loss. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot erase this, from any type of record. It's there. But let's not forget, Oregon slipped up and lost to a Stanford team. If I have to choose out of the top four who's going to slip up first, I honestly believe it's going to be Bama. I know that's crazy to say, but they've been struggling as well.
A lot.
You know,
That
a
LSU
lot.
game.
That's where I was going.
Oh
That's
my God!
exactly
Like,
where I was
who are
going.
y'all? Like,
Yeah,
what?
they struggled against a very weak and a very injured LSU team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're struggling against a very weak and very struggling injury prone LSU team,
Oh my
what's
God.
going to happen in this Auburn game?
Hey, and
Mind
Auburn's
you,
been known to do something, especially
mind you,
Bo
Auburn
Nix
is
is
ranked
still there.
16th. Yeah, and
Bo Nix
Auburn
beat
is
him
ranked
last time.
16th. So
Mm.
while we're on this subject, let's take a look.
Mm.
But I honestly think it's going to be Bama
And you know what? I'm
because
glad you
you
said that,
struggled,
Mel.
you struggled against, you struggled against LSU. You got a
Uh-huh.
cupcake. You got a cupcake in New Mexico State coming next week. Who the hell? This late in the season, whatever. And then after that, you got Arkansas and Auburn. And to my knowledge, you have not fared very well against Auburn from time to time. And
Mm-mm.
Arkansas is having a really good season this year for the first time in a long time. So you got two tough games after a cupcake game that you schedule late in the season. I honestly think Bama will be the first to slip up, followed by Oklahoma. Now, the uh, out of the top 10,
Mm-hmm.
I can see Oregon slipping. I can see Oregon State catching them slipping, and that that will probably be it for Oregon. A two-loss
Mm-hmm.
Oregon is not going to jump over anybody, especially in
No.
you know, especially in the sense that you know what's on the line. You have not been back in the top four or in the playoff since it started. And the last
Mm-hmm.
time you were there, you didn't have a good showing. You got beat on.
You got beat on bad.
Yeah, you lost by 22 points. And the same team that you lost to in the championship kicked your ass the following year in the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Real talk,
So
man.
yeah, and you got you barely got out of it against Washington. Now you got Washington State, you're at Utah, and then you got the Civil War coming up with the Beavers.
Mm.
You bound to slip up against one of them three.
Yeah, I can definitely see that them dropping one of them.
Plus, you still got the pack. So you got 4 games. Assuming you make it out, you got 4 games left. Assuming
Mm-hmm.
you take care of business, and you're bound to see maybe a scrappy Arizona State team, maybe just maybe, or a scrappy
Mm-hmm.
Utah team, and
Now,
you got to play Utah.
now when they
You may
play
have to see them
Utah, they're
again.
at Utah.
Yes, according to the schedule, they are at Utah. Yep,
Oh,
November 20th, they are at Utah,
ooh, all right. Well,
and
I'm
Utah
following this one.
and Utah is the toughest youngest team in the Pac-12 outside of
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Colorado. No one cares. But the fact that you struggled against Washington, you have to see Utah, Washington State, and your rival, and then you gotta hope you see a struggling team in the championship game, which you may not. You may end up seeing. You may end up seeing Utah. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, it ain't hard to say they might get caught slipping. Ohio State already knows what's on the line. All
Yeah.
right, let's just call it what it is. Ohio State already knows.
Mm-hmm. And their
You
focus is
see,
different.
yeah, the focus, the ball play, all of that is different.
Mm-hmm.
All
Because
of
they
that
know
is,
not only was at stake, but they know that they're going to have to win the conference now
yeah.
to get in. So it's way different, and it's great bulletin board material. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? Uh, what I will say for Ohio State is what helps their case is the fact that they have a lot of quality wins on their schedule.
Yep, that's
Like,
true.
excuse me, like they have wins against Penn State, uh, dare I say Nebraska. Um, they still got to see number 3. Well, they dropped, so I think Michigan State's like what, number 7, number 8, something like that.
Yeah, 8. Yep.
So you still got quality wins on your schedule as far as uh, you know who they beat. Yeah, you beat Penn State, you see Michigan State, and you see Michigan,
Hmm.
and maybe I don't know if they'll throw them in this coming ranking, but Purdue may be ranked coming
Yeah.
into this game. So there's another possible quality win because you're beating top 25 opponents.
Hmm.
So,
And then whoever you beat in the Big Ten, yeah, because the thing is like you're gonna keep facing top 10 opponents the rest of the season, pretty much outside of Purdue. So you
yeah.
figure you got, like you said, Michigan State, then you got Michigan. So let's say you beat Michigan State, right? They're ranked 8, and then once you beat them, that's going to have Michigan move up, right? They'll probably
Hmm.
take over 8 or 7 or whatever. You beat them, now you're in the Big Ten championship, and you're going up against, Iowa, Purdue, or whatever, and it's great, man. Like I like how competitive it was this year, especially for the Big Ten. It's been a minute to where there's been so much of a spread, I guess, between all the teams. Because for the longest time frame, it was all about OSU, and then of course you may have like other teams try to creep up until they play OSU, and then that's kind of demolished or whatever. Or you have like Penn State, who will win like the first half of their season and all of a sudden just crumble out of nowhere. That's been like the MO for the last 3 years. And outside of that, like we haven't seen much. So to see like Northwestern once every 4 or 5 years do their thing, or see like
Dude,
Purdue killing people all of a sudden, and then you
why do
got
you
like,
even mention Northwestern?
well, I'm just saying like just the spread of how the Big Ten has been like in the last few years or so.
I get it. I get it.
And then
Because
like Indiana last year, that was a 1 year thing,
that was a COVID season. That don't count.
unfortunately. Yeah, there's that.
That's a COVID season. Don't count.
But yeah, man, like it's just cool to see it, spread across now. To see half of the division be, or half of the conference, I should say, be as competitive as it is. It's good to see that again for sure. And it's not going anywhere. It's not going to be like a 1 year thing. Next year will probably be very welcoming. It's kind of interesting to see where Purdue falls and how they start off next year.
Yeah.
Because you can
But
tell they're actually up and coming as well. So
honestly, look, I want to see where they throw Purdue at, because that will tell a lot going into this week's slot of games. Like, think about that. Purdue just knocked off basically number 3, number 5 at that time, and they dropped 3 spots to number 8. And I'm trying to. Oh, they got 174 votes. So depending on what the college football playoff rankings look like, you may see Purdue in the top 25 somewhere. Pittsburgh wasn't ranked. In the coaches poll, they're 22nd. In the AP poll, they're 25th. Wisconsin is schizophrenic, so they could be good 1 week and then they'll shit the bread another week. Iowa's still hanging in there. Iowa's still hanging in. I didn't even pay attention to this, but North Carolina State is only 2 losses in. So they're looking good. So, the ACC may have a case for some strong bowl games, but they kind of dropped the ball on that one, trying to make a case for the top 4. But I honestly think Bama may screw up first. I'm sticking with that. I know people don't want to hear it, but they got 2 tough games coming up, plus the SEC championship. You cannot go into the playoff with 2 losses. You can't. It hasn't been done yet that I remember. So
no, it has not. It hasn't at all. And they squeaked in there. Luck. So the year that they beat Georgia, what happened is with that, that's when they lost to Auburn. And Auburn knocked them out of the SEC championship. And because Georgia beat up on Auburn, all of a sudden here come Bama creeping on back up in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of how that worked out.
That was still
2 losses.
I still had a discrepancy with that one.
Oh, I wasn't feeling that issue either, man. Like I'm sitting here like, all right. But my thing is like, I do agree with you. I feel as though the strongest case for the teams that'll probably fall would be between Bama and Oregon. But honestly, the way that these games have been played lately, I'm kind of like leaning toward what you're saying. It could be Bama first before Oregon, which is strange to say.
It could be both. Shit, you never know with college football.
Right, same week. Oh my gosh! If anything told us yesterday, I mean,
anything's possible.
Expect nothing, man.
Yeah,
goodness.
And as we move on from that, actually, no. Did you happen to see the Usman fight or catch any highlights?
No, I didn't catch any highlights. I was happy that he, won that fight, and they said it was like his 15th consecutive win or something like that.
Do you win consecutive MMA fights? What kind of shit is that?
I mean,
excuse me. What kind of shit? How the fuck do you win 15 consecutive MMA fights. Somebody done had to whoop your ass in one of them.
Something. I mean, the thing is, you figure before this went down, he was 1-1, and he never looked back. And Covington has been one of those guys that's been very mouthy about a whole lot of different things, all the politics crap and all that stuff. So for me, it was like, okay, here's a guy that came in and shut him up. That was great to see, you know. And to me, at this point, it's not even a rivalry anymore. And Usman himself,
he
like,
did break a whole boy jaw though.
hmm and then the thing is, like, him getting that mentorship from, Ngannou or whatever as well. That's just a dangerous thing, man. These Nigerians is killing the MMA game right now. So watch
They
out
tired of
for him.
hunting. No, they tired of
Yeah.
hunting animals. Now they hunting ass. They hunting people who hunting people and giving out ass whoopings. Like they turning it. They turning into King of Wakanda. We
Oh,
do
they ain't
not
playing.
lose here. Losing, we do not do that here.
Man.
But it was good to see that he got the win. He's obviously on a mission, trying to keep the belt, and I'm just, I had to see him in the locker room.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, right now the way he's fighting, he's got that like Khabib mentality. You know what I'm saying? Just knocking people off left and right, man. Gonna keep it as long
Man,
as he keep it. It's his to lose. Well, it's always yours to lose, but
no,
it's
it's his
literally
to
in his
lose.
corner
It's his
because
to
he
lose.
been he
He ain't
been
losing.
he been getting
15
right. He been
straight,
getting cast. Yeah, 15 straight,
15
man.
straight.
15,
Like
15 consecutive.
it's his to lose. You was right. It's his to
That boy
lose. I
nasty
ain't
with it.
never.
Yeah, it's
I ain't never. I ain't
especially
never.
in the welterweight
15
division.
straight. Yeah, and that's arguably
Welterweight.
the best division in the UFC. In the UFC slash MMA, that's the best division.
Hmm.
Like it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. 15 straight. I'm not. I don't want no smoke with that man.
No, I'm
I don't
good.
even want. I don't even want your autograph. All right, from the MMA, we moved back to the NFL, and of course, more wacky shit happened. Denver beat Dallas today.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Can't
Denver
make it up,
beat
man.
Dallas. No, you're right. We're not making this up because it's clearly on every sports outlet. So we damn sure ain't making it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna touch this Denver game as we come
Mm-hmm.
back. The game I was pissed about was the Minnesota Baltimore game because I really wanted Baltimore to lose because now we would have had well, not we, but speaking about the Browns, they would have had a tiebreaker over
Mm-hmm.
the Ravens as of common opponents and wins versus losses. So with that, I kind of was like, all right, because I'm pulling for the Browns this year. This OBJ mess, free OBJ. How the fuck does this work?
Ah, like
How
he
does
locked
this
up.
work?
Like, oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, like he in jail for life or something, man. Like what's going
Right. He
on?
doing a bid, He doing a bid.
Motherfuckers was really wearing hoodies saying free OBJ like he was in prison. Like what's going on?
Terrible, terrible.
Like
It's
I'm
it's,
not understanding. I'm not.
it's hilarious.
Hey, but you know what? Moving on. Uh Josh Allen, because I believe you sent me this earlier. Josh
Oh
Allen
yeah.
intercepted, sacked, and recovered a fumble from Josh Allen.
Yes.
You confused the fuck out of me until I actually looked at the picture because all I saw was the caption. So run this by me because I didn't catch this game. I know that Jacksonville got their second win of the season over Buffalo, but explain how the hell
Yeah.
this happened.
So it was just a big defensive showdown, right? So the Josh Allen of Josh Allen's proved himself today, and it was just funny because it wasn't the Josh Allen that you would expect, right? So what ended up happening today was Josh Allen just basically tried to, like, to clarify, Josh Allen of the Bills tried to put the team on his back basically today, and it came up short. What ended up happening was it was one of those field goal games, one of the ones that we classically have seen the Bills do against Cleveland as well. To where it's like 3-3 in the first quarter, and then it's tied at 6 at the half with another field goal from each team, and then nobody scores in the third quarter, and you're like, what is going on? And all of a sudden, there's a field goal again, right, with like 4 minutes left.
Oh wow,
that's the extent of the game right there. So Josh Allen has one of it's terrible, man. So
I don't
statistically,
understand it.
Josh Allen had to try to throw 47 times, right?
Why don't they
He
have a
could
run
not
game?
see. And here's the thing: speaking of the run game, Josh Allen led the team with 50 yards on 5 carries. If that tells you how bad today was.
Oh wow.
He's an athletic dude, but when you're
I'm
carrying
not
the
saying
ball
he's
5 times for 10, bro, like why? Why are you the 50-yard? So you average 10 yards a carry as a quarterback, and you had to try 47 times to throw the ball, and you got picked twice. That's how that game went down, right?
Well,
Lawrence doesn't do a whole lot. Carlos Hyde got 21 touches for 67, and then Diggs, I mean, Diggs has his usual production. He has 6 for 85. Okay, cool. But my thing is like
but there are no touchdowns. So how
defensively,
is this cool?
no touchdowns. No touchdowns, right? Now for him, because let it be told, his whole drama that he had in Minnesota, right? Him not getting the ball, blah, blah, blah. We just heard this past week with a different guy. Okay. So I get it. But at the same time, man, seeing this game statistically, it was just terrible. There were 3 turnovers from Buffalo, which pretty much sealed it, right? Um, they almost had the ball equally, 30 minutes apiece. And then Buffalo only had one more first down than Jacksonville did for the whole game.
Wow.
And offensively, it was actually a really bad performance on Buffalo's part because they barely eclipsed 300 yards of offense against Jacksonville. So I don't know if Jacksonville was just that much better today or if Buffalo was just trash. Like it felt like Jacksonville wanted it more the way that
It
it
was some
went
freak
down.
shit.
They just couldn't. Right. They just couldn't get the ball moving though, because Jacksonville barely got over 200 yards of offense today. They still won the game. So if that tells you how terrible it
That was just a
was,
bad game for everybody.
bad game for everybody, both sides of the ball, both teams, coaching staffs, everything. It was just like, what is this? Okay, it was trash. But shout out to them for getting their second win. Doesn't that put them a game higher than they were last year?
I believe so. And it gives Urban Meyer 2 more wins than he had in the NFL before he started.
Boom! Yes, sir. Sorry, but
Nah, you good. You good.
but yeah, that game was just trash bags, man. It was
Okay.
bad.
Now, wait a minute. I don't even want
Oh,
to talk
it's
about that game no more.
oh,
I
I
don't even
was
want to
gonna
talk
say
about that game no more. Oh, go
no, just
ahead.
one last thing. And speaking of which, that Josh Allen I was talking about from the Jags, he's a defensive end, by the way. Okay, you can carry on. There you
Okay. We get to the marquee game of the day,
go.
of course. Um, the Browns and the Bengals, Battle of Ohio. And this is the now official post OBJ era. OBJ was released Friday. Uh, who cares where he goes? Don't get me wrong. Everybody has their gripe about OBJ. What I'm going to say is this: you got what you paid for,
Hmm.
meaning, yes, he's a diva. He's very outspoken. He's very selfish to a degree, as are most receivers in the NFL. But let's not forget, I'm only going to say this once. Let's not forget, before the ACL, he was a 1,000-yard receiver for the Browns. Before the ACL, he was on pace for 1,000 yards. Before the ACL, He was a integral part of that Browns offense
Mm-hmm.
because he was touching the ball in all facets. He ran for a touchdown. He threw a touchdown. He actually caught a couple touchdowns. So let's not act like this was a failed project. One, he was injury prone. Two, he had no work in the preseason.
None.
That I don't care what you say. You have to get some type of work in the preseason. If you don't get any work
Mm-hmm.
in the preseason, coming off of any kind of injury, mostly a season ending injury, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have chemistry issues. Those
Mm-hmm.
all play a part in the reason why Odell was released from the team outside of his daddy making that video.
Oh my gosh, man.
But I'm not gonna sit here and say this was a Baker Mayfield problem. Here's why. This is not a Baker Mayfield problem because, as we've seen with and without OBJ, the offense is schematically the same. There's a scheme to it. There's a excuse me. There's a scheme. There is a script, and there is a set of plays that are designed for every offensive player on the field who can do something besides block. So
Mm-hmm.
that means Jarvis got a set of plays, Chubb got a set of plays, Hunt got a set of plays, and OBJ has a set of plays. Just like people Jones, Schwartz, Higgins, everybody that's part of the offense that's not a lineman has a set of plays designed for them. Here's
Mm-hmm.
where the problem comes in. The problem comes in when you and your quarterback are not on the same page. And as we saw, there were times in the 3 years he was here, 3 or 4 years he was here, they were not always on the same page. That's the first part. Second part is one, you came in hurt. You were coming off of an ACL injury that killed your season last year.
Mm-hmm.
While you were on pace for 1,000 yards, you came in, worked your ass off to get back. You did no work in the preseason, so nobody knew what you were going to look like.
Nope.
The third part of this is your quarterback got hurt, and your quarterback was playing hurt, and everybody's got their gripe about Baker, how he does things, how he acts, how the commercials, whatever. Any man who's playing with a tore shoulder and a broke shoulder, you cannot blame him for everything. He's missing running backs. He's missing throws because one, he's fearing for his life because two of his best linemen are gone or were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So he's forcing passes he doesn't have to force. He made a tackle he didn't have to tackle or he didn't have to make, which broke his shoulder or started the process for the break, which tore his shoulder. Let's keep
Mm-hmm.
that in mind. And on top of that, he decided to play hurt because, again, does anybody trust Case Keenum? And
Shouldn't.
the other reason, wait, my last thing about this. The other reason
Mm-hmm.
this was not all Baker's fault. I'm not saying he's not playing a part, but I'm saying it's not all his fault. So the last part of this is, did anybody watch that Denver game? Did anybody see with a different quarterback, there was still the same problem? So if we're all in agreement that we all saw that Denver game, we all saw with a different quarterback still had the same problem, could we come to the conclusion it's not all Baker's fault?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
to add
I'm
to
just making
that,
sure I'm not crazy.
no, you're not crazy. And to add to that, they want to, you know, kill the guy when he loses, but then when they win games, no credit, none, not even an ounce of credit, nothing. They just completely don't say anything about him. It's all about whatever skilled player scored the most, or whoever had the best impact defensively, whatever. That's what they talk about. They don't talk about him at all. But let them
Hmm.
lose a game, right?
Throw his ass
Let
right
him
under
get
the
sacked
bus.
7 times, right? He getting the hit, right? Let it be to where the coach was a little weird about some of the play calling. It's still
Right.
on Baker. Always on Baker when they lose, though. Never when they win. It's never any mention of him at all, unless he has to toss. This man has to toss like 5 or 6 touchdowns to even get a recognition for anything. because that's the last time we heard his name literally
Mm-hmm.
pumped up. Was the last time they played Cincinnati when he threw that game-winning touchdown to Peoples Jones last year. He had to
But
throw 5 touchdowns to even get a mention.
I also want to throw this in.
Like, man.
But I also want to throw this in because, like, I'm totally in agreement with what you're saying because it makes sense. You curse this man for not being the quarterback you want him to be, but when he's busting his ass with a busted shoulder, mind you, it's not his throwing shoulder, but that shoulder does play a big part in his mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But he's playing with a busted shoulder, and y'all give him nothing, no credit, no leeway. And granted, yeah, he beat the Texans, he beat the Bears, he beat the Vikings. He lost to the Chargers, not because, you know, uh, not because of nothing he did. That was a coaching call.
Mm-hmm.
That was all coaching. That game was on Stefanski, and Stefanski
Yep.
owned up to it.
Yep, you did.
Had he not made certain calls, it would have went a different way. Yes, the Chargers have the worst pass defense in the league. That don't mean you steer away from the run. That's a Stefanski call. That's a coaching call.
Mm-hmm.
That
All
wasn't
day.
Baker in the huddle. That wasn't Baker in the huddle changing the plays. So yeah, that's on him. Then you lose to the Cardinals. I wrote about this when the schedule came out. I thought the Browns were going to come in. You know, the Cardinals are a scrappy team. I also said don't expect them to roll over and die. I did not know the Cardinals was going to come in and beat the shit out of them. Nobody knew that.
Me neither. Nope.
You lose. You lose to the Cardinals. You beat the Broncos. The Broncos ain't bad. The Broncos are fighting in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Every team, keep in mind, every team in the AFC West is above 500 or close to being 500.
Yep.
Keep that in
They're
mind.
they're still ahead of Kansas City in division.
Exactly. That's where I was getting at next.
But nobody wants to talk about that.
Now, you lose to the Steelers.
Mm.
This was a defensive game.
Yeah, it was.
It was a defensive game. That the offense did what they could, but you knew going into this game, you even said it last week. Ben still got a little bit in the tank, number one. Number two, the Steelers are better than people give them credit for, even though the record doesn't show it.
Especially on defense.
There
Because
you
here's
go.
the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm going to cut you on this one real quick. What people don't realize in the division, the Steelers have given up the least amount of points against them in the division. When you go and look at those standings, it's like easily, 20, 30 point difference overall for the season, period. Because the thing is, I want to say Pittsburgh gave like 126 points so far this year or something like that.
That's defense. That is
And
defense.
the closest to that is like 160. So, like, I get it. There's some struggles on the offensive side right now, which we expected, but defensively, they're still sound. And that's what's keeping them in these games. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you thought that was going to change? And you thought that was going
Right.
to change against the Browns? No, it's not.
No, and we already know they like save all the exotic crap for them anyway. We know
Exactly.
this. You know what I'm saying? So for
And
me,
then-
I was like, okay, but yeah, folks don't get that.
And then you go to the Bengals game. Now everybody was talking about how tough the Bengals been playing, how good they look. I called fool's gold. Nobody wanted to hear me. Look at the score. Look at the way this game was played. When was the last time you saw in a Browns Bengals game 100-yard pick six? That was your indication of how this game was going to go. The Browns and the Bengals, the rivalry is back. I don't care what anybody says. The rivalry is back.
Yeah,
two good quarterbacks going up against each other. Paul Brown's legacy is never going to go away as long as these two teams are around. And Baker has something to prove. Y'all ain't listening to what we're saying, but Baker got something to prove. Everybody's writing him off because he's got a busted shoulder. Y'all don't know. I've separated my shoulder. And I'm not saying, y'all don't know, but I'm saying in the terms of I've separated my shoulder as a player. I know how fucking painful that is. It hurt bad. As a quarterback, I can only imagine it's got to be worse, especially if it's your non-throwing shoulder. That's the shoulder you use to put power into your throws.
Yep.
He's playing with a torn labrum in that shoulder. It's broken. It's not going to heal overnight. It's probably not going to heal till 3 months after the season's over. On top of that, again, you said this, I've said this. The Browns are a totally different team when Odell's not on the field. It showed today. The Browns got to where they were supposed to, meaning they used the run to set up the pass. This offense is designed around the run. Play action. For those that don't know or are too stupid to pay attention, play action is the fake run. You fake the run to suck the linebackers up and you throw it over their head. That's the play action. That's what Stefanski's offense is. A play action offense. It was like that in Minnesota. It's going to be like that here as long as he's the head coach. Everybody, leave it alone. Just let it go. It's not going to change. Chubb is going to be a 1,000-yard rusher. Hunt might be in the 1,000-yard rusher as soon as he comes back. Double threat. So just chill. You got the Patriots coming up. Bill Belichick probably hates your guts still. And then you got the Lions after that before you go back to the Ravens and the Ravens.
So man, Ravens twice. Oh yeah.
Back to back though.
Yeah. No, you lucky there's a bye week in there. You lucky that bye week in there. You know what I'm saying? You get some time to do something. But golly, man, back to back. Ugh. And for any team.
And yeah. But the problem is people need to. I'm with you on this because he gets no credit for playing his ass off. Mind you. Let's keep in mind with this. No interceptions today.
None. No fumbles.
No fumbles, no interceptions. Yeah, he got sacked. Yeah, he got sacked a couple times, but no interceptions. Chubb got 14 carries and got 137 yards. 14.
Guess what? That's only one more carry than Mixon got. But double the amount of yards. And your starting right tackle is out.
Yeah. Now, I also want to throw this out there before we close this out. Let's keep in mind, too, as we said before the show started, the ball was spread around equally. Everybody had 3 catches or 2 to 3 catches. Everybody. Chubb, Peoples-Jones, Landry, Hooper, Njoku, Higgins. The ball was spread around. So I'm not saying this was all Baker Mayfield's fault. I'm not. But what I am going to say is, ain't it ironic how much production you get out of your offense when I'm not going to call him a cancer because he was productive when he was on the field. But ain't it ironic how the offense looked when Baker has the people he needs around him meeting him on the same page?
Absolutely. Or the fact that they just said, you know what? It's a team win.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I get it. Everybody's going to say this was a defensive game. Defense only accounted for 1 touchdown. The rest of that's offense.
Yep.
The rest of that is offense. So keep that in mind. I'm done. I'm going to let you take over.
For me, what I have to say about it is, and I have to address the Browns fans once again. You know, people so butthurt about, Odell being let go and all this other crap. And at the end of the day, you can see that they have a completely different flow, a completely different scheme. It's a one that like has that rhythm and timing type of thing to it. And some of those throws that Baker didn't make to Odell, part of that was, okay, you have a lot of like deeper routes, double moves, things that take time to develop. And if you don't have time for it to develop, You're not going to take that risk. Part of that is yes, they did not have the chemistry that you would expect them to have. But like to your point earlier, Mel, you got a guy who was injured, first part of the season, missed the majority of it due to the ACL injury, got no preseason work at all, and you expect him to come in and be on the same page. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're a pro bowler or if you're like a rookie, whatever. You still have to get those reps in with your quarterback. You still have to get those first team reps in, period, point blank, right? And you can be the most talented person in the world, but coming off an injury like that, you're not running the same. You're not cutting the same. Maybe you're not digging as hard into it when you're doing your slants or whatever. You probably changed something in terms of how you approach those routes because of the injury that you had. So you're learning how to do that a little bit differently. Your timing is off, and how you even do the execution of the particular route that's called for that play. Period. Right? It's different. You know, anyone that's come back from an injury is going to do it differently than what they did before. Part of it's mental. Part of it's because your body is not the same way it was before it happened to you. So there's that factor. Secondly, if you're going to sit up here and complain about the fact that coming into this game, this team was just 2 games behind where you thought they would be after 8 games or whatever, and they're broke up and they're hurt, they're they're 5-4 now, but before they were 4-4 because they were hurt. All the key players in the most important positions on both sides of the ball were banged up. Your quarterback hurt. Both your running backs was hurt. Both your tackles were hurt. The backup to those tackles is in a season-ending injury, right? And then on top of that, on the defense side of the ball, your most talented linebacker is out right now on IR, right? Your second running back is still out on IR. You have a defensive back who we can't keep on the field for the whole season. He's the man when he's there, which we saw today, but he was out. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of these key positions that people are not able to, perform at. Then you're like, okay, next man up. All right, well, when your next man is hurt, what you gonna do? Who you got left? You can't even say next man up. The next man's next man. What is that? Ain't nobody out here checking for the next man's next man. That ain't how this works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's guys you can activate from the, practice squad and all the other kind of stuff. I get that. Right? But the next man, everybody talking about the next man, next man. You know what I'm saying? Who talking about that? Nobody. Then on top of that, the one thing that was a saving grace for today, when it came to the offensive line, when we heard that Nick Harris was reactivated. Great. Nick Harris was a very crucial part of this team last year. Think about this. When Wyatt Teller had his injuries last year, which affected how much, Chubb was getting in terms of how he was running his style, whatever, Nick Harris stepped in. That was the difference in terms of the next man being up. Nick Harris is available again. Conklin's out for a few weeks. When he comes back, that's when we get JOK. That's when we get Hunt. Okay, totally different ball game with them two back in the game, right? So for fans to be complaining like, oh, we got this going on, that going on, and we're 5-4 right now. Why are y'all complaining? I get it. You were 2 games away from the Super Bowl last year. Great. That's an accomplishment for one season. How do you keep this going? You take your licks like you're getting right now, and you figure it out. Get rid of the one guy who at this point is a distraction because you proved you could get that far without him last year. And now you have a more improved defense to back up what you had offensively last year without him. And we're complaining about being 5-4. You are a Browns fan. You have not tasted anything close to this kind of success since '94, when you had Belichick and Nick Saban. Do not come at me with, oh, okay, well, this and that should be whatever. Okay, that's great. But at the end of the day, your team is struggling because they're hurt, not because they suck. Let's get that together. You know what I'm saying? And all these discussions about people talking about, oh, Baker ain't it, Baker ain't it. Listen, I will say this. Is he the long term answer? I have no idea. Is he the guy right now? He's the guy right now. He is the guy right now. Is there something better you could probably get? Maybe. I'm not
Not
going to
really.
say that I'm going to
I'm
be
gonna say
like
it.
all
Not
the way
really.
in. But here's the thing, though. People need to understand you can't break down this man and go, okay, yeah, he's not on the elite level yet of some of the other ones that we've seen. That doesn't mean that it won't happen. Also, the way this offense is designed, yeah, of course he's not going to throw as much because the run is the top running game in the league. And on top of that, it's what the scheme is built for. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is not a scheme built for a Rodgers, a Brady, a Breeze. It's not built for that. It's not built for that. It's not built for that. Like let's just break this down and get it as simple as we can for people to understand what you and I know, having been on the field, knowing what we're doing, how we watch the game. You know what I'm saying? Let's break it down even further. You are a run first offense. Okay. You don't need an elite QB to run a run
A
first
run first
offense.
off. You don't.
You need a
You don't.
smart QB. You need someone who can manage the game, right? Prime
Mm-hmm.
example. Prime example. I'm not going to say the man is not elite because he can put a team on his back and do what he needs to do. But let's think about someone by the name of Russell Wilson. Were they not a run first team when they were in the Super Bowl?
Man, if I
Both
had
times.
Marshawn Lynch, I wouldn't need to throw the ball. Shit.
Exactly. Exactly. Look at Tennessee. Before Henry went down, you knew he was getting the ball. Who
And you
cares?
still couldn't stop him.
You still couldn't stop that. Do you think that you're gonna be able to stop Chubb and Hunt?
No,
Who
it's not happening.
cares?
It's not happening.
Let them each
Not
go
both
ahead and
of them.
get right, not both of them. Let them go ahead and average 15 plus carries a game. Let them go ahead and do that. We know you're gonna do it. But if you do it well and you're still getting an average of 5.5, 6 yards a carry all season, and it's been seen before, why are you deviating from it? Why? And why are you going to criticize the man for not throwing downfield to this wide receiver who's been open all the time, OBJ Senior? I get it. You don't have to. You don't
You
have to.
really don't. You
It's
really
not
don't.
built like that. And I get it. When the play action happens, okay, normally in play action, you're looking deep because you can see that there's guys creeping up. Your intention is to do that, but if it's not there, you're not going to make that happen. On top of that, if you don't have the chemistry, you're especially not going to make that happen because the majority of your interceptions came from throwing to you.
Right.
So there's a mental component there too as well, right?
Do I trust
And
him?
do I trust him? Is he going? Okay, here's one for you. And people gonna hate me saying this, but I've been saying it since he got here. As talented as a wide receiver as he is, he has placement issues. He has placement issues. He also telegraphs the route. This is something that's been a concern since he left the Giants, right? Injury or not, injury or not. I'm watching the same tape everybody else see. Okay, double moves designed for him, all these different things that take time to build. It wasn't there. Okay, I get it. There's a couple throws, yes, it could have been made, great. But do you trust it? I don't know. Is he going to actually go through the whole line he's supposed to be the trajectory is on, so that if I throw it, is he going to be there when I expect him to be there? I don't know because I don't have the chemistry from not working with him in the offseason.
There you go.
Just saying, you know, and anybody who's played quarterback before knows what I'm talking about. I personally am not a QB, never have been. I've cracked a couple QBs. But what I'm going to say, though, is that when you're on, you're on. And if you have a guy that you can throw to a certain zone and knowing he's going to be there, you're going to make that throw every single time. There's a reason why he
Mm-hmm.
didn't trust it. There's a reason why he didn't trust it. There's a reason why someone like Donovan Peoples Jones, who hasn't been in the league even a third of the time frame that OBJ's been in the league, he trusts more for some reason because he's going to be there for the damn ball.
I
Same
mean,
thing
that
with
60-yard
Higgins.
touchdown proved a lot. So
That proved a lot. right? Thrown with that torn shoulder, man. And
It
look,
was
man, it's the last
beautiful.
thing.
It was
It was
beautiful.
pretty. And here's the last thing I'll say about it. You want to bash the guy, go ahead and bash the guy. But when he does the right thing, give him his credit too. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh, I hate to jump back to. Well, it's not even jumping back. We're gonna because the NFL's done. We saw that. We heard what everybody had to say. Then we said our piece. Did you see the Fox on the field yesterday?
Yes, that was hilarious, man. That was so
Oh man, Desert.
like what?
For those that are watching or they're going to watch, was watching the USC game, the USC Arizona State game last night, and a fox, literally a desert fox, was on the field and
Mm-hmm.
stopped play, ran up into the crowd. I don't even know how he got up into the crowd,
I don't even know
but
how he got there.
got up into the crowd, scared the crowd a little bit, just went crazy, got back on the field. They stopped play again, and they finally got him out the stadium, and he ran like his life depended on it. But it had to be some type of sign because USC ended up losing the game.
Oh man,
But it was just funny to see it, man. Like, you ain't seen an animal on the field in years, man.
nope. And that was the craziest thing because like he was just on. I mean, he came in. They're like mid play, and all of a sudden they're like, what? Huh? What? I mean, he just came flying out of nowhere, like just galloping along, you know what I'm saying, leisurely. Everybody's like, oh, it's a fox. And just, the game just stopped, and everybody's like, so fight me
Yeah,
here. It was just
and
weird. It was
everybody like, don't say nothing to it. Don't try to pet it. It's not a it's not a dog. It's a fox. Just let it go.
right. And the thing is, like, fans, they all drunk. So when he started jumping the wall and went into the stands and all that, first of all, I didn't really get jumped that day. I mean, he was like, no running start, just said, I was like, oh, you got springboard action like that? And he went
Yeah, it was
up
real.
and over like
It
one
was
move,
real.
and then the crowd's like cheering him on, like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I guess for me, that's just the atmosphere, man. It's some,
Man,
it's some
that was
strange
awesome.
stuff.
That
That's
was
some West
awesome.
Coast stuff. Think about
I
it.
mean,
Because
they
remember
was
the
in the
remember the
desert.
Hawk, remember the Hawk at the Seahawk game, land on
Oh
that dude's
man.
head a few weeks ago, and he just playing all cool. He's like,
Yeah, you
"Oh,
can't
there's a
play that
Hawk
cool.
clawing me in the
You,
face." Mm,
yeah, you can't
okay,
play that cool. That's
but
life threatening.
but that's what's so funny about it. It must be some West Coast stuff because if I see a hawk land on me anywhere, we are in Ohio. I've seen hawks kind of like up real high. I ain't never seen no thing up here close like this unless I'm at the zoo. You know what I'm saying? So you're just gonna land on my head and just be all nonchalant, just sitting there. No, I'm freaking
Nah,
out.
I'm
I'm probably
good.
get clawed up. My whole face gonna be scratched up because I'm not
Nah,
used to no hawk just land on my head. I mean, that dude was so chill. He's like, oh, hawk on my face. Oh, okay, this is great.
nah,
I'm like,
ain't no chill. Ain't no
unless,
chill.
well, then again, it was Seattle, so he could have been, on some edibles,
Yeah.
something going on. Don't
All
nobody
right,
care.
we're gonna close it out with this. I went to the Cleveland Crunches open tryout yesterday,
Hmm.
and they are gearing up for their second season back, and it looks good. Most of the teams coming back. Uh,
Nice,
the goalkeeper of the year, Mario Musa, is coming back, from what I'm told.
nice.
Most of the front line, some of the back line is coming back. Uh, we will release the schedule when they give us the word to, because I don't know if they've released it yet, but we do have it. And I talked to the head coach. He said he's ready. He's excited to defend the title. Um, Talked to the owner, Eric Davis. He's excited, you know,
Hmm.
especially, the schedule is set up for them to have a good season. I know Chicago is going to be tough. I do know, you know, Muskegon's always tough,
Hmm.
but now Cincinnati's in there. Cincinnati's in the division now. So
Nice.
the way the MASL 2 is set up, it's all division play from what I've seen.
Hmm.
If they can get some good reliable second line guys, third line guys, maybe this could be another championship run. They're eager to defend the title. So shout out to Eric and Coach Lou and Mac and all of the rest of those guys. But from what we know, most of the team is coming back. They're excited to defend the cup. They're going to defend the cup, is what I've been told. And it's looking bright for Crunch fans. And they're back at the Soccerplex this year, from what I also know.
Nice.
So, and capacity has been increased. So, more fans, more fun.
I'm excited for it, man. And not to jump sports, but this just hit my phone. So after that whole debacle yesterday with Florida getting the beat down from South Carolina, they have decided to part ways with the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator. That just
Hmm.
happened. Ooh,
Just now?
yeah. It's in the rest in the it just popped up on Yahoo Sports, man. It is official.
Wow.
That just happened
ESPN, what the hell
today.
y'all doing, man? Y'all supposed to have that. Y'all supposed to have that before Yahoo.
Man, Yahoo be getting the gritty gritty. They get the they get the
Clearly.
drama. They get the drama stuff first. It's
Oh,
hilarious. I'll be like, what?
they
This is
TNT in
real?
it, huh? They
Yeah,
TNT
all
in
the
it. We
time,
know drama.
man. That's the
We
only
know
way they get
drama.
that following, man. As soon as something dramatic happened, they the first one. You like, what? Oh, I gotta research this, and I research. I'm like, okay, that did happen. But the same week, we changing both sides of the ball immediately. Both y'all got screwed. I'm like, dang, man, y'all pulling a shoot. We haven't seen this since dude. Remember when exact? So here's what made me laugh about that. So this reminded me of when Cleveland got rid of Hugh Jackson and then the offensive coordinator, right? And they were just like, look,
Oh
both of y'all
man.
fools gotta go. Both of y'all, okay? We ain't taking no chances no more. We done. I'm just like, dang. In the season, the college, cause I haven't seen this in the college level yet. Like both coordinators like that, just
No, it generally don't
before the
happen.
season. Man,
Before
it's
the season,
bad.
yeah. During the season, no, doesn't happen very often.
That's it's all bad there. So they pretty much given up at this point. If you letting them both go right now, and you still got like 3 games left, you let.
Yeah, it's getting real.
So, but I'm sorry, I mean it hit
No,
me, and
you're
I'm like,
good.
ooh, like it's
That's
big,
news, man. That's news.
it's big,
That's news. So, well, shit happens.
man.
I got
Exactly.
nothing after that. Shit happens. I mean, what you want me to say? I'm not a Florida fan, so I don't really care.
Hey, forget Florida. You know how I am. Forget them.
Yeah, clearly, and clearly. I mean, you did win, so it don't really matter. But
Mm-mm.
All right, folks, that is it for 4th and 15 tonight. We'd like to thank Tom Jenkins for being on, talking about the Tecmo Bowl tournament coming up this weekend. Again, it's gamingcleveland.com. Use the promo code 4 and 15 to get you some couple bucks saved and enjoy the show. It's gonna be something to remember. Take the kids,
Yeah.
buy some goodies, get you a retro Tecmo Bowl shirt, whatever you got to do. But go there, have fun. It's a great environment. It's a great atmosphere. You will not regret it. I guess we'll wait to see what pops up this week as the world of
Oh
college
yeah.
football and the world of pro football. So you know, I'm all down for another heart attack this weekend.
Absolutely. And I think one last one I can throw at you is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Cleveland has beaten the Knicks tonight. So there's another
Get the fuck out
Cleveland
of here.
win. Hey,
Get out of here.
I'm a 126 to 109. There you go. All
Ain't
right.
that a bitch?
For those of you who love Ricky Rubio,
Who the
Cleveland
fuck
has
would
won.
who the fuck would have thought?
Like we
You
said,
know
man,
what?
wacky world. They seven
It's
and
still
four.
it's
Look
still
at
early,
them.
man. It's still early. I'm not buying it until I see 10 wins, 15 wins. I ain't
Oh,
buying
I'm
it.
not
I
buying
don't
it
care.
either. I'm not. But here's one thing I'll say about that. The fact that Ricky Rubio put up, am I reading that right? 37? 37. Oh my.
Oh, but
Okay.
nah, hell no. You
37
nah, I know you
points.
nah, I know you
13
fucking
of
with me.
19. 13 of 19.
Nah, I know you
37
fucking with me.
points.
I know you fucking
I'm
with me
not.
now.
Cleveland shot 54% today. I'm not making this up.
Oh shit, he really did have 37 points. What the fuck, man?
And they had 48 rebounds.
And
And
they're
they shot
first in the
54% from 3-point.
and they're first in the division with that win. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here.
oh. I feel like Red Sanford. I feel like Red Sanford.
No,
Oh,
I feel like
oh,
that skit when they was talking to Mike on 107.9. They're talking to Michael
oh
Jackson
man.
and they told him Joe Jackson died. You bullshit. Oh man.
Oh man. I'm sorry. I had to, man.
Y'all
And they
wild
did it at the
guys.
Garden. At the Garden. They they was out there
They
playing
hardly ever win
33.
at the Garden.
They was out there playing 33. That's what that was. They was having fun. That's a
Nigga
fun
had 30.
game.
Excuse my French.
Ricky
Yeah,
Rubio.
Ricky Rubio had 37 points,
Ricky
man.
Rubio. I am not Ricky Rubio.
Okay. All right. All right. You know what? On
On
that
that
note,
note,
I'm done. I'm over it. I'm
wacky
over it.
weekend.
I'm over it. I'm over it. You know what?
Wacky
We
weekend.
like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Please follow us and like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We still have our Senate League Game of the Week games up there. For those who have not seen any of them, they are very entertaining games. I know some of them may seem like they're not, but it's for the kids. So if you get a chance, just check them out. I'm still working on this Instagram thing. I do not know how to figure this shit out. It's actually frustrating, but whatever. Uh, don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Forgot about Twitter. But
Mhm.
yeah, because that just blew my mind. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I'm going to bed. If you got anything, you're more than welcome to say it. But I'm going to bed.
Here's
Cavs
what I'll
won
say
today.
on that note, man. If you get a chance, make sure you watch both Stephen A videos.
I don't
Him
like.
talking, it's hilarious. I just saw him. His commentary about Ricky Rubio tonight and his commentary about Baker Mayfield. It's amazing. You know how he just randomly be having that towel over his head and just be at home, like in his whole
Man, nobody
element.
cares.
It's funny. It's hilarious, man. I don't even like the
I'm
guy,
going.
but
I don't
you
either,
know.
but the fact that the Cavs won in New York, I'm still tripping on. Like I'm done. I'm done.
Mhm.
I'm done. All right, folks. Thank you for watching. Appreciate y'all sticking with us. Just showing all the love. This thing got me. This really got my mind warped. So for 4th and 15, I'm Mel. That's smooth. Peace.
Peace.